Hello and welcome to the Business Essentials and Systems Tools series at Noon. My name is Adaka Jimba and I'm your host and a business strategist. Today we're going to be talking about Gmail, that is Google Mail. In these few days gone, we've been talking about how to organize our lives and our businesses using the ultimate organizational tool, which is Google. Now, we've created a Google account, and yesterday we had looked into how to, customize that account to fit our, what we want for our account. And today we're going to look at our Google mails today to know what we can do to customize it to make sure that we're getting the emails that we want at the time that we want it, and we're not losing information that is coming to us. So now I am going to share my screen so that I can demonstrate to you some of the things that we can do for Google account. So I'm sharing my screen, and we're gonna go. So to get into your Google account, you just type in gmail.com, or you can also type in, if you don't want to do gmail.com, you can type in mail.google.com. And whichever one that you do would show you exactly, would take you to the mailbox of your Google, and it's just loading up. I'll show you it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Just give it a second to load up. And so it's loaded up right now. And I think for a second it's going to my personal one because I had to sign into my personal email. So I'm gonna get out of this so that I can demonstrate with what I wanted to do for us today. And remember what I told you, when you get out of Google, you have to remove your account. And so that is what I'm doing right now. Yes, remove. So let's do this again. So it gets you here when you sign into, I'll do it again, gmail.com. So now that you're here, all you have to do is just simply add in the email that we created. And remember, the email that we created was Tiama demo, and then just add your password, whatever password you have that you created when we did this yesterday. And so now it's loading up. When it's done loading up, it will take you to the inbox of the email, and just give it a second. It's loading. Come on, Google. It's loading. Just give it a second. Don't know why it's taking time though. Good. Oh, this is what you get when you're doing stuff live. If I was recording, I could cut off some of this so that you get into it. So this is the first thing it tells you. It tells you welcome, email by Google, simple, smart, secure. Now this is like a tutorial, or if you want, you can go through it and you just click on next, and it will ask you choose the view you want to see. And this is really important, and I want to show you something. So this is the default view. There's also another view called the comfortable view, and then the compact view. I like the default view, and the reason is because you see the default view shows you if you have any what you may call it, any attachments, it tells you what the attachment is. So you look at these are attachments that are in the email that was sent. So I like the default view better, and you just click on OK. So when you get here, this is what you get when you create a brand new Google account, when you get to look at the email. So there's the primary, the social, and the promotions. These are tabs in the inbox. Remember, we had to put these are tabs that just come in the inbox, really. And so there's a primary. It's defaulted to the primary and the inbox. So the primary inbox, and then just like you have it, social inbox and promotions inbox. And then if you notice, I have some mails in the social inbox and I have some in the promotions inbox. Now, if I'm just looking at the primary inbox, I don't know that I have emails in these other boxes. And when you look at the inbox, it only says that I have one, if you can see this. It says that I only have one email because that's what's in the primary. And this is what I was talking about, that some people just forget some things because they have their emails the way it was, they got it. They haven't customized it to actually fit them. And so, but before we go into that, we can go ahead and, set it up and make sure that we have everything that we wanted to do. So we can choose a theme and then it'll bring a pop-up. Usually I like to go with the random theme. The reason why I like the random theme is it chooses every hour, it changes the theme of whatever you have. So it chooses any of these themes. And so whenever I log into my inbox, it's a different theme altogether at different times. And then I click save. So now we're 25% done. And it says learn how to use Gmail. I wonder what that is. Okay, so it pops up the help, whatever. And so we don't need that. You can go through that later on. It says import contacts and email. Now we don't have contacts and email yet, so we can just leave that and just close it out. But then it checked it out. We've done it 65%. And it says get Gmail for mobile. Now, if you have a mobile phone, it gives you exactly what to do. So you can either put in your phone number and it will send the link to your phone number as an SMS to your phone, or like for people that don't have Android. So if you have like a Windows phone or if you have an iPhone, and then there's a QR code that you can do, or you could just go and download, Gmail on your from your either the Play Store or wherever your app is sold. And so we can cancel that. So that's done. It says change profile image. Now, this is really, really important. Remember when we created our account yesterday, we put in a profile picture to show what we wanted. And I'm going to get out of this because we already have a profile picture that we did. And so now it says, congratulations, we're done. And so we can just close this out and then everything, you know, is done with just the setup. Now, one thing Google does is it will give you, see this one, it says resume Gmail setup. It will either give you that this is the settings, but let's just get out of there. So now, what I want to talk about is how to get these tabs of emails that are in different tabs that they are clearly your email. They might be spam, but you never can tell. It can be somebody that sent you an email from social media, or you got an email from your favorite list, your favorite um, influencer that has an email list going. Now, when the person sends you an email, it goes to promotions. If somebody sends you something from social media, it goes to social. So let's say, for example, somebody shared something on YouTube or Twitter, it will go to social. But these are emails that you should have gotten. And so I'm going to show you how to customize in such a way that everything is under the primary. And so we go to the settings tab, which is like this wheel right here. You click on it and you go down and you click on the settings. And so when you get to the settings, give it a minute to load up or a second to load up. It tells you about the account, the setup process. Remember, we're done. Then the language, depending on what language you want to do, English UK or US. I like English US. Um, Phone numbers, what default country, you have that. How many emails do you want to see, on a page? Now, Google calls it conversation. So, for example, if you have an email going back and forth and you're replying to somebody, that is called a conversation. So even though there might be 6, 7 emails underneath that, it is all, we call them conversations. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that later on. And then another thing that Google does is undo send. I love this very much. So if I send an email and then suddenly I remember, oh, I forgot to attach something, I can actually undo that email and it calls it back. So you can set up how many seconds you want it, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever, how long you want to be sure about it. Usually I go with 30 seconds because it doesn't matter if it's something that is still good, it will still go after 30 seconds. So I give myself that room. And now, default reply behavior. Do you want to reply everyone? So let's say you got an email and there were like 3 or 4 people in that email. If you click on reply all, it will reply all those 3 people. But if you wanted to just reply the one person, so reply will be what you choose. But for me, I don't touch this. I do that manually. I don't do it automatically here. I do it manually when I do an email. So I'm going to leave that open. And so you can choose the font that you want your emails displayed in. The default is sans serif. I'll just leave that out. And these other things, just go over them. They are really, really intuitive. There's not much to it. But let's get back to these labels because that's the main thing that I want to talk about today because I see people losing emails and they don't know what happened. So we'll click on the next tab. So the first tab that we were in is the general tab. We click on the labels. Now it's showing you all these labels. So right here on the left hand side, it shows you all these labels of emails. Starred. So if you have an email that you want to listen, you need to, it's like a reminder for you. You can just click it on the star and it will show up on this folder so that you can get to it. And when you're done, you can uncheck it. You see how it's organizing things for you? Snooze. Let's say somebody is sending you spam and it's never ending. You can snooze the person for however long you want it, a few days, whatever. And then, of course, your sent emails, drafts. And then there are also more stuff depending on how you configure your stuff. So, important emails, chats, all mails, whatever it is. And you can always create labels either on this left hand side or under where we have the labels here. And so you see for the inbox is default. There's nothing about show or hide, but all these other ones you can either show them or hide them. And a rule of thumb, I said keep the show the starred ones because that's the one talked about organizing, putting emails in different folders, organizing it to make sure that you are actually getting your email how you're supposed to get it. And so you have I like to show the snooze as well, but you can hide that if you don't want to. And now see the importance, it says that it's hidden. And that's why we had to click on more when we clicked on more because the import was one of the folders that was hidden. That's why when you click on more, that's why you see it. And if you notice, now that I've hidden the snooze, it's now on the less. And so you can just go right about and show whatever it is that you want to put in these different emails. Now, let's get to these categories. And this is where we're talking about. So when you talk about categories, different categories is showing that it's hiding it. And then we have the social, it's hiding, the social emails, the updates, the forums, and the promotions. And it's also, this is in the label list. So in this label right here on the left hand side, and then in the message list as well, it's also hiding them as default. So this is where you come and control things to make sure that your emails are showing exactly how you want them to show. And so we can go to the inbox now. And this is the part where I want you to pay great attention. Now, in the inbox, remember how we have its, inbox type. Do you want it default or important first, on read first, start first, priority inbox, whatever you want it to be. So if you want to always have your unread emails first, it's going to put up. And that's what the default is actually. Now, if you wanted it to be, oh, the things that are already starred, remember how we have that label of starred inbox, of starred emails. If you want that to show, that's what you want always showing, you can put that. But I'm going to leave it at default because I like that. Now, the next thing is the categories. Remember, we had all these categories, right? The primary, which is what the email is all about, is always default. Now, what I want to tell you now is you see we have social and promotions checked. And the reason why we have those checked, now let me just save to take all the changes that we did before. Let's go back to the inbox. And when we do that save, it will load up. I want to show you something that is really, really important. Remember, the social and the promotions were checked. The reason they were checked, I will show you in a second. Oh, so you see, we have these tabs. Remember, the primary is checked by default, the social was checked, and the promotions was checked. If we checked the forum, it will create a tab here as well. So let's go back to the settings and let me show you how to make sure that the socials and promotions are not checked so that everything is under your primary mailbox and it's loading up. So we go to inbox, right? And so I will uncheck these. And so all that is going to be showing is just your primary email. And that's all you need. And then we click on save changes. So when it saves the changes, I want you to see how it's taken. So now you see everything now is under the community, is under the primary whatever. So those emails that we just that didn't have there, those were like, they weren't really emails that you needed, and that's why they didn't take. So I am going to do a demonstration right now. I'm going to send an email to here so that I can show you some of the things that we already talked about. And I'm going to send it from my Tiama Google. I have a Tiama Google account, so I'm going to do that. So give me a second. And so Tiama demo. Okay, I cannot type for some reason. Demo at gmail.com. And I'm going to call the subject test. And I'm going to be test to see that this works. And I'm going to send it. And let's see how that goes. So I've sent it from my phone, and let's see what happens here. You can refresh this, just click on refresh and see, as you can see, this is the email that we just received. So right there, it's showing that this is test to see how this works. I want to show you something. This logo right here is the logo that I use for my Tiama Creative. So remember how we had to put on the display picture to make sure that we put the picture that we want. So whenever you send an email, it automatically shows you the display picture of whoever it is. So if it's a friend, it will. If your friend set up her his or her display picture, it will show the person's picture or whatever picture that they put in there. And so I'm going to do something because I want to show you, we talked about conversations. Let me hit reply. And then we're just going to say, sure, this works. There's something else that I want to show. You can either type an email right here, or if you look at the email right next to the email address that you're sending to, there's like an arrow right there, and it's called the type of response. If you click on it, it will show you different things, either reply or to forward. You can always, even if you hit reply and you really wanted to forward, you can just change it to forward. Or if you want to change the subject, edit the subject, you can do that. But I wanted to bring your attention to something, the pop-out reply. I love the pop-out reply. And what it does is that instead of it, you replying an email, under that email, under the window, that's this window, it gives it a pop, you have this pop out and you can, compose your email. Now, if I wanted to go to another folder, it doesn't stop me, continuing with my email. So let's say, for example, I go to inbox. You see, that reply that we're talking about is still there. You can still type out whatever you want. And then when you look at this in the inbox, it says draft because I am sending a reply and I'm not done yet. So sure, this works. I like it just to make it, and you say, good job. Just to make it more, oh, job, not job. And type today. And so once this is done, you can now send the email. Second. And then you click send. And so it sends the email. And sure, you see, and this is what a conversation is. So even though it's it looks like two mails in that, it is a conversation. Now, if I go to my mailbox and send another reply, because I want to really show you this, show you another reply. So I am sending a reply right now so that I want you to see what I mean when it talks about conversations and stuff like that. I want you to see how everything works. And so now it says, I have gotten the email, so I want to reply that. And let's say I star it. So once I star it, it means, so replying to this, yes, good, reply. And I send it. So you're going to get the email in a bit. So just refresh. You see how I've started now? See, the email is there, but you see how I've started? If you go to the start folder, there you go. You see that email because I started. And so when I'm done with this, I can unstar and then it will clear from there. So I've checked the email. I can go back to the box, unclick the start, and then go to the inbox, and we'll see that it's no longer starred. If we go back to the starred stuff, you'll see that it's no longer there because I am done with that. And so these are the these are the features of Gmail that I love so much. And it helps you really, really put things together and make sure that you are on top of things and you are not, losing information, you're not losing emails, and everything is working out well. And so I'm going to leave it at this because I don't want this to go longer than what it is and what we're doing. And tomorrow I'm going to show you more stuff on Gmail because there's a lot of things that Gmail does that I love, that makes me love it so much. And so tomorrow we're going to pick up from where we stopped. So we're going to be part 2 because I don't want this tutorial to be so long. And so let me know. Let me know if there's something you want to learn, what you want to know about and stuff like that. And then we can go from there. I love you for watching. Thank you so much. Peace.